So, some of you know that I've struggled a long time with autoimmune stuff, and different doctors, rheumatologists, different ones had told me all kinds of stuff throughout the years. It's been over 20 years. And so that's part of this that I'm doing, but not the whole thing. Sorry, I came outside to get peace and quiet, and for some reason the chickens decided to go crazy. Anyway, I started seeing a functional medicine doctor, holistic doctor, and she has been the only one to really give me answers. And what she suspected is absolutely true. Went to my PCP for the blood test just for checks and balances, and it, came back exactly how she thought. So I am doing a 60-day Candida cleanse first, which, if you're curious about what that is, it's Candida overgrowth in your body. And so I have to do that for 60 days. It's supplements, herbal supplements, and a strict diet. Really strict for 30 days, a little bit more lax after the 30 days for the next 30, but pretty strict for 60 days. Yes, I will need to continue to be responsible and thoughtful and think about what I'm eating, and not go out and eat cookies every day or ice cream every day after that, just to be mindful. However, she wanted me to journal, and so I decided, instead of journaling, because I don't have a ton of time, but I can snap pictures and throw up a video pretty quick. I'm only using my cell phone, so I don't have extreme editing capabilities, so it's not like it takes a whole lot of time. So I decided I would compile videos on a weekly basis to share my progress, to be real about it, so that if anyone else goes through this process, that, they'll know kind of what maybe to expect or what can be normal. And hopefully it'll help somebody. Hopefully you'll get some ideas from the foods. I planned things out with meals. It's tough because there's not a lot out there, and I have strict guidelines from what the doctor gave me. So it's not a one size fits all for, everything else out there that you can Pinterest or Google. So you may have to adapt and modify, and you have to really read everything. You can't just buy a spice blend on the shelf and say, oh, I'm going to bake some chicken and throw this spice on it, because it may have sugar, or it may have soybean oil, or it may have canola oil or something if it's liquid, or, sugar if it's not. And it may be organic, and you may think you're doing the right thing, but you really have to pay attention. You can't have any vinegar except for apple cider vinegar. So again, like, we go to eat salsa last night. I had made myself a taco bowl and made them tacos, the family tacos. And I thought, well, I'll throw some salsa on there. And I read the ingredients, and it's red wine vinegar. So I had to quickly whip up some salsa. Thankfully, I had all the ingredients. It's summertime. That's helped a lot. We grow the majority of our food, seasonings and everything. So I had some cilantro. I had, some limes on hand. I had, all the things. And it turned out great. So they actually ate that and nixed the jarred salsa. So it can be a good thing. It can be, we eat pretty healthy, but there's still junk in our diet. And so I think it's an eye-opener for all of us. But anyway, I say all that to say, I hope this helps those folks that are going through this or planning to go through this, if it's something that you have to do. And I hope it gives you some ideas, some glimpses into the realities of how you feel, just a real version of it. And I feel like in today's world, there's not enough realism. So I want to be as transparent as possible about this. It's not easy, but it's totally worth it if it means that I will feel better. So follow along if you need to, or if you want, and I hope you get something out of it. All right, so I'm gearing up for my 60-day Candida cleanse, and this is my documenting it. In the crock pot, I have set out a whole chicken. I am using organic extra virgin olive oil and all organic spices, garlic powder, salt, and black pepper, and then rosemary and thyme. I'm just going to cook the chicken on high for 4 hours so it'll be ready for tomorrow in a couple of days. I'm mainly going to do this for lunches as toppings for salad or for mixing in with the quinoa. And I'm also, since it's a whole chicken, I'm going to go ahead and make broth after that. So that way I'll have chicken broth to use to cook quinoa. Just trying to plan ahead for lunches because we will do dinners that suit more for the family. I'm going to try to do the same meals but tweak it a little bit for them. That way I'm not cooking completely two separate meals, but they're not going to want to have to eat everything exactly like I'm eating it with the restrictions. So, night before day one, here we go. Okay, I'm still in the kitchen. It is, the chicken's done, and now I have bone broth going so that I can use it to season the quinoa. I added a little more pepper, salt, garlic, and onion powder, and added more water so that I would have more broth. Y'all, these Topo Chicos have been a guilty pleasure of mine and something I enjoy having each day. I'm also thankful to have put up chicken fajita kits and stuffed pepper kits as well. I found a great fish recipe that I absolutely adore and plan to have that several days. Of course, I've had lots of salads and made the turkey sausage to go in our omelets. It was okay. It wasn't like regular sausage, but it beats not having some type of sausage in your omelet. Okay, it is day 4 of the Candida diet, and dinners have not been too terrible. I planned ahead, so I've had some fish that was really good. I had, basically broccoli, and I had an egg, a boiled egg with it. I've had eggs for snacks, and of course celery, cauliflower, radishes for something crunchy. The hardest thing has been cheese because it is my weakness, and fixing cheese for my husband and daughter on their dishes or whatever, that's been tough. Lunches, I've been doing a lot of quinoa and chicken bowls. I'm a little sick of that. I'm actually craving that fish again. And today I first noticed, this was when I took vial number 2 of the supplements, and I noticed just feeling extremely worn out. Now, I have been working extremely hard around the house and homestead and doing all the things, gardening and animals and chores and everything, trying to get caught up and get done. The last 2 weeks have been pretty hectic, and this week has proven to be the same. And it's been 9:30, 10 o'clock at night before I've sat down, and I've been up sometimes before 6, just going nonstop. So I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if it's a combination, but the supplements do say that they can cause drowsiness, lethargy. I also noticed in the past when I've gotten a lot of exercise and I've been down for a while, sometimes I would stand up and my blood pressure would drop and I would nearly black out, and I would have to stop what I was doing because my blood pressure is naturally on the low side. Healthy range, but still low. And I'm thinking my blood pressure is probably even lower now because I had a dizzy spell today after I was crouched down for a while. So those are some things I'm noticing. Also, this evening, things were not going right at dinner. I made omelets. Of course, I couldn't have cheese. For the meat, I made my own turkey sausage, which was fine. It's definitely not as good as our home sausage, but it was something, and more protein to hopefully keep me full. But again, I couldn't have cheese, but I put cheese on my husband's, and my daughter does not like eggs, so I did some homemade chicken nuggets for her. Of course, whatever, that's fine, but I had hash browns for them, which I can't have potatoes until after the first 30 days are over. So it has definitely been rough, and every time I turned around, things were falling on the floor, like just not going well in the kitchen. And I had a slight meltdown there. Thankfully, my husband was outside. Unfortunately, my daughter was not. She was sweet, though. She asked me if I needed a hug. So, yes, I probably will need lots of hugs because it is day 4. And if I could just, you know, once I get to day 30, but that's a long ways away yet, I can add things in and it would be better. But I did notice one thing is crazy. I've always had a heightened sense of smell, but man, my nose is crazy good right now. I walked near some dillweed and could just smell it so strong, and it was just amazing. And my daughter had one of those naked juice drinks, and I had gotten out of the car, had met somebody, and when I got back in the car, I didn't realize she had it open, and I could just smell this intense fruit flavor smell, and I was like, what in the world? But needless to say, I'll be happy when I can actually eat some fruits too. An apple and almond butter would be amazing right now, but can't have that yet. So here we are. I told y'all I was craving that fish, so I packed up my lunch so that we could all go out to Chick-fil-A as a family and ate my stuff while they ate theirs. So it is now the end of my very first week on this Candida cleanse, and I am thankful that I found some new tricks. I wasn't sure that I would want to do almond flour, but we had some turkey cutlets, which is like turkey breast sliced, kind of like a pork chop. And I fried them in a little butter and olive oil, and I used almond flour and just some seasoning, and it was so good. Tonight's meal didn't necessarily look like my family's meal because of the fried squash, but fried squash rings are some of the most amazing, sorry for the thunder, but I'm excited about that too, some of the most amazing ways, in my opinion, to eat squash. And it's all fresh coming in from the garden, and so I used flax meal, which is as close as I can get to cornmeal. I may try almond flour the next time I do it, but it's something that we do so rare, and we only do it when it's fresh and a few times throughout the year, so I didn't want to miss this opportunity to do it. So I actually felt like I had a real meal tonight. Different colors on my plate, and I actually had a fried food, which was pretty amazing considering that, you know, I can't have regular flour. So the almond flour was definitely a win, and I feel like, you know, at this point I feel pretty positive about it. So hopefully moving into week 2, things will continue to be positive.